Mike Best from British Land. And let me just also, Mike, bring your slides here. Now, yeah. Well, Mike, thank you very much. And it's your turn.
Thanks, Nate. Good morning, everybody. My name is Mike Best, and I'm Head of Logistics at British Land. British Land, for those of you who don't know us, we are a property investment and development company. We're FTSE 100 listed, and we're a diversified REIT, so a real estate investment trust. And diversified means that we invest in lots of different types of real estate. Office, retail, and logistics are our primary focus. So today I'm going to talk to you about logistics, our focus, and particularly the challenges with London, and then talk you through a case study of how we think we can help to deliver a more sustainable supply chain. So like I said, British Land invests across various sectors of real estate, and our focus in logistics is London. This is because there's strong occupier demand. London generates a huge amount of demand for deliveries, but it's also a very challenging market to service, especially with its high congestion. There's limited supply because of the other competing uses for real estate in the capital, particularly housing. And also it's very complicated to build and develop new spaces in central London because of the difficulties with actually bringing the materials into the most central locations, but also the planning regime. So like I said, we invest across different asset classes and have a lot of experience in developing very complex buildings right in the center of the capital. We're able to put logistics alongside our other investment classes. And also we've now developed a large development pipeline of logistics opportunities within the M25 and Zone 1. And that's where I want to focus today, on the most central locations. So to support our investment thesis, we commissioned some work by Centre for London and UCL, looking into the benefits of low carbon freight in the very central locations. UCL conducted a peer review of research that had already been done in this sector, and then took that and using quantitative filters assessed where the best locations for logistics in the capital would be. We also got Centre for London to interview a range of different stakeholders, occupiers, planners and local authorities to understand their views on the sector and how that aligned with the data that UCL had produced as part of their report. And these reports are available on our website, so you can go on there and download them and read them at your own time. I mean, the key conclusions from this, I've put on the slide, but just to talk through them, first of all, it's sustainability. So by delivering hubs in the very centre of London, we can switch that last mile mode of transport away from diesel-powered vans to electrified vehicles, and particularly to cargo bikes, and reduce emissions by up to 90% per parcel. If we use bikes in the most central locations, they're also much quicker. In fact, PedalMe, who is a cargo bike distributor, they estimate that their cargo bikes are 1.6 times faster in London than delivering by van. And this brings reliability and cost benefits to both the occupier and the consumer. And we're also able to reduce the mileage travelled, again, helping with the sustainability of deliveries, but also taking out some of the cost of those deliveries by reducing the total mileage covered. So our portfolio is very concentrated in London, and we split London into two zones. Outer London, so approximately Zone 3 to the M25, and then inner London. And you can see here, we've got a few locations marked in blue, which are where our logistics sites are. And then in red, we've got other assets that British Land own, different asset classes, demonstrating our experience within the capital. And so I wanted to talk through a case study. And so the one that I wanted to pick is at Paddington. So 2 weeks ago, we got planning permission for this facility. It's located at Paddington, right by Paddington Station. And this is a former Crossrail work site that is located underneath some office buildings that we own. So again, as a diversified REIT, in those very central locations, there's very limited opportunity for pure logistics. And here we're able to pair logistics with office and retail above. Like I said, we've got the planning permission now, and we're envisaging inbound delivery by the largest vehicles. So you have the ability here to bring in deliveries using HGVs. Again, looking to move product in bulk and help support occupiers cut costs, but also outbound deliveries by the smallest and low carbon vehicles, which could remove up to 100 large vans from Westminster's Road and provide emissions equivalent to planting Hyde Park's trees 3 times over. So this space, not only will it be delivered in a sustainable way by us as a real estate developer, but we're really looking beyond just the physical real estate and the environmental savings that we can help facilitate in the supply chain by delivering these most central locations. And so as part of this, we're also able to offer other ESG benefits. Like I said, we have an investment in the wider area through the office buildings above, and we have access to our other social and environmental programs that we operate in the area, which logistics occupiers will be able to take advantage of. And so I wanted to leave you with a location map here. So this is where we are. We're just north of Paddington Station. As you can see, we're in Zone 1, so very central and really good inbound access by both the A5 and the A40, and obviously a very dense delivery environment right outside of the hub in Westminster and surrounding areas. So this is what we envisage the hub will look like. As you can see here, it sits below the office buildings right next to the mainline rail station. And this is something we're really excited about, trying to change the way products are delivered in central London and make them more sustainable. And it's something we're looking forward to bringing forward later this year. And so given the limited time, I'll probably stop there and ask Nick if there are any questions.
Yes, there are a few things that I wanted to talk about as well. Is there, when we're talking about sustainability in general and in construction and in deliveries and hubs like that, is there the perfect real estate location or type which can tick all these boxes and make us really green?
So this was part of the research that we did with UCL. And so UCL looked at a number of different quantitative factors that would optimize what we believe will be the locations for those deliveries. Principally, it's driven by excellent inbound access, so that we're not disrupting the supply chain and creating points of double handling, but also proximity to a very dense delivery area to maximize the efficiency of those last mile vehicles. So like I said, you can go onto our website and download the report and look through the full list of filters. But some of the other things that we've included are things like cycling infrastructure, so that we can help transition to cargo bikes, congestion data, and then also population and business data to really focus in on those high drop density areas.
And how far in advance should you look into these areas? You mentioned Crossrail and that it was a former Crossrail site, which presumably meant that the plan took a little while to become reality. So how far in advance do you have to engage with local authorities and you as a company in order to secure and get this?
Yeah, so I mean, again, in these very central locations, there's limited opportunities, mainly because of the competing pressure from offices and from residential. So once you've secured a site, which is probably the hardest step, actually engaging with the local authority can take a considerable amount of time. Officially, the planning process is sort of 3 months, but by the time you do all the early engagement and all of the reports, it can take up to a year to get planning.
And you mentioned also the early engagement, and another thing that we spoke about earlier with Paul from the CART was around engagement with consumers and the wider community. I assume that for such a project, this is really important. How do you do it?
Absolutely. So we proactively engaged with the residents around Paddington, explained to them what we were looking to do and the benefits that it would bring. And I think that going back to sort of referencing Paul's presentation earlier, everybody was really supportive of moving to those sustainable deliveries, both from an air quality and a carbon perspective, but also taking those vans off the road and in helping improve congestion and tidy up the street scene.
Mm-hmm. And finally, people again can see below, you will be also part of our in-person event on the 24th of May. Can you just give us a bit of an idea of how would you like to move the conversation forward?
So I think that, like I said, real estate has a very long lead in to actually developing these spaces. And so what we're trying to do is look at how we can support occupiers on their journey to sustainable networks. So I think that we will deliver best-in-class sustainable buildings, but it's really looking beyond that at the real estate impact in the supply chain. And so I think, what we really like to do is engage with occupiers and, understand their desires, far enough in advance to make sure we're delivering product that is suitable for their operations.
Mike, thank you very much.
Thanks very